Welcome back, Elliott Trades here. Analysis on all the USD dollar pairs. Let's go. Now we can see that we're still moving sideways. Ultimately, we're still moving sideways. The count is still valid. I mean, the count is, the more it goes sideways, the more it confirms the count, because the fourth wave is usually the most drawn out wave. And potentially we finished it here. Potentially we have a 1 here, and we're looking for a 2, which, let me measure from the beginning of here up to here, and we have reached the minimal target for wave 2. Okay, we've almost hit that 50%. In fact, let's go to that hour. Okay, now we potentially got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. It does look like we do. Okay, so the first wave we've come up impulsively. We've hit the minimal target for a 2 in retracement depth, and we want to check the time. We've reached the minimal time for a 2 as well. That's here, down here, the 0.382, the minimal time for that 2. Now, what can help me to see besides this, if the 2 is potentially finished, is I'll put on the EMAs. So market maker method is when price breaks out and the 13 crosses the 50 EMA, we then wait for it to return to the 50 EMA. We've returned to the 50 EMA. Okay, now it's in here, the price action that we get here can help us to determine whether we're finished. Now, if I put on the EMAs, I mean the TDI, when we reached the 50 EMA, okay, we did go below the volatility band. I mean, yeah, the volatility band over here, and the 50 static, and we came up again. But I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. I have a feeling we might, we may come lower before going higher. In fact, I really do think that's the most likely case. Why? Because just the price action, you can see how we've come back below the 50 EMA. Price is moving, is moving down now while we're talking. Potentially this is our first wave. This is our A wave of the 2 wave that we're expecting. So if this is our 1, which I have no reason to believe it isn't, I think this is our 1. We're looking for a 2, then 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have a flat here. Price, how do I know this is a flat? Price has come we got a 3 wave move here, a 3 wave move here, and then the 5 wave move down. Okay, or even A, B, C down, but still it's a flat because it starts off from here. If we pull our fib and we put on the 0.9, let's just come here. Okay, we came very close to the 0.9, but we definitely would have hit the 0.886. Right, some would say the 0.9 is the bare minimum. Some would say being close like that is good enough. So we could use some not discrepancy, but we got to use some, you know, sometimes the markets aren't perfect. We've come very close to that. Either which way, we know that the 0.886 confirms to us that this is corrective, and that we have hit the 0.886. Okay, so this move coming down is corrective, as you can see. We've entered into here, so we can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, not, we can't count that as a 5 impulsively. This is corrective. Now this, to me, this move coming up here, it can be a 1, it can also be an X. I'm thinking it's an X because if you look at it, all right, we can see it's potentially a diag. Okay, with it being a diagonal, if it is a diagonal, it could be impulsive or corrective, either one. I'm going with corrective right now, so because I'm now expecting this low to get taken out. And one more thing we can do now to just monitor the price action is put our channel on. Now there's a few ways we can do this, okay, and this is my preferred for what we have right here, because I'll look at this as the A, this is the B, and looking for a C. Right, we're crossing the 50% mark of the channel to the downside, and quite honestly, I wouldn't be looking for any buys yet until we potentially come down. I think we're gonna do something like this, and then in this area here, when price reaches the low of this channel, I'll be looking for an accumulation. I'll be looking for divergences on the TDI to potentially take this back up. So I'm currently looking for a bit of down before potentially buying this up. And at 1:15, we've got news. That's in 14 minutes. Again at 1:30, we've got news. And again at 1:45. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some movement today, because it's been quite a few days of sideways movement. I'm expecting price to come down into this area. We also have the psychological low down here. Yep, it's the psychological low, this orange line here. Yeah, we're gonna monitor this price. Now this can come all the way down to the 0.79. What I don't want to see is it hit the 0.886 over here. I'd prefer it not to, but we could hit the 0.886 and still go and make that fifth wave, the way I see it. So we have to monitor what we get here. This definitely looks like a 1 to me. I'm looking for a 2. Once I see some confirmation down here that the price would like to go up, so that can be an accumulation, Wyckoff accumulation, or yeah, or you could look at it like a manipulation of some lows and a breaker structure to the upside. We could take that fifth wave, that move to the upside, because ideally we want to sell from somewhere up here, but if you want to make a trade today, we might not get you know, that might be the trade to take. We might end up coming down here, going up there, and then going sideways until tomorrow. So potentially I'm looking for a buy for today on EURUSD. On GBPUSD, we just go back to the 4-hour again, and we can see that over here potentially we have a 5-wave move, just like with the euro, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I go to the 1-hour time frame, and just have a better look inside these waves. Yeah, potentially we could have a 1 here, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4. Does not come into the territory of 1. Okay, and then a fifth wave over here. So potentially this is our A wave on GBPUSD. Potentially this is our A wave down here, looking for a B, then a C to the downside. It does look like potentially we'll get a deeper drop with the pound than we're having with the euro. Okay, there's more space for it to potentially go lower. It doesn't need to come that low. It can come to say the 0.382 and then go higher. Yeah, but this does give me it is not as clear to me as or it's not as straightforward as the euro, but ultimately I am looking for this to come back down at some point, potentially during this news here. In 10 minutes will probably come down and we'll monitor from there, but I am looking for lower. This could even just be the A wave of the A wave, so A, B, C, and A, then a B, and then another C. Or we could get a W, X, Y. But again, looking for the same thing. I'll put on the indicators and we'll have a look at the TDI. You can see we came outside here, the volatility band and the red line here. So we were overbought, briefly overbought over here, right here, when price was over here. It was slight divergence as price started to make its way down. Yeah, just still looking for a bit lower. Go to NZDUSD now and have a look at that. Okay. Potentially we've still got a little bit higher before we start to drop. Yeah, this is the same. This is the count for my NZDUSD. I think maybe we're starting to diverge here. We should start to see some bearish divergence on the TDI. Let's have a look. Yes, we do have some bearish divergence forming all the way from down here. We've been making higher highs, but on the TDI we've been making lower highs. Okay, so somewhere more locally on a smaller time frame, if we get bearish divergence there, then that could indicate that it's time to start going down. And currently we do have that. Price has taken out this high. Price is over, sorry, let's get more local than that. Over here, this high has been taken by this over here. And on the TDI, it has not been taken. Also, as we've come up and made this high, if you look, it doesn't. Oh, I don't see any clear inefficiencies down there. So we probably, or we have already swiped this high. It's yeah. I would be looking for down on NZD/USD very soon, and potentially this was already our 5 and we could be getting a flat. Okay, this we've come down in a 3 over here. We came down in a 3 over here and we've come back up. So this is corrective. Potentially this is going up to finish off our 5th wave before coming down. So I'm looking for something like maybe it's a little bit higher and then the market might just chuck it down in about 6 minutes. We're going to have a look at AUDUSD now. And we'll go back to the 4-hour time frame first. And we've got the same situation going on here. Only thing is here, we are looking for it to I definitely want to see higher here. I definitely want to see higher before lower on here. I want to see us get into this green box before considering anything lower, and then we can look for one of these fibs to be reached. If price reaches here, then the fibs are at this level here for us on AUDUSD. Okay, so I'll leave this video as this. I'm going to do another video on the stocks and on crypto. Trade safe. I'll update later. Okay, peace.